those who are watching the live stream on Facebook, welcome, welcome. I'm just going to stop share and reshare my screen for just a moment, just so as I can capture you, because I've just lost you on my screen. Just bear with me. All right, Saha, welcome. How are you? Just please let us know what part of the world you are dialing in from. That would be amazing. So welcome to today's webinar. If you are on the Facebook, if you're watching live on Facebook, simply let us know what part of the world you are in. I will try and monitor the chat both on Facebook and the live Zoom whilst we're in this webinar together. So the purpose of today's webinar is to really help you identify, let me just see if, here we go, is to really help you identify a couple of key elements of NLP that can help you really identify how to overcome challenges. So no matter what you're navigating in your life at the moment, life can be tough, life can be challenging, and without those challenges, we don't actually grow as a person. So it's really important that we focus on those key elements of how do we actually grow through challenges? How do we navigate challenges more effectively with ease? So I'm just seeing if I'm sharing my screen. I am. Okay, good. So my name is Julie Thompson. I'm an international trainer of neurolinguistic programming, NLP coaching, timeline therapy. And so I've been able to find powerful tools and strategies to help me actually navigate through those times in my life where things have seemed really challenging. I've gone through adversity, gone through pain points, and I've been able to take away key learnings from those and really turn that into massive success. And what I found, from my experience working with people who've gone through hardships, it's actually the person that we become during those hard times that really help us, be able to become super successful, because we utilize those same key principles of who we had to become to overcome those challenges. So I'm going to share some slides with you, and I'd love for you, if you are watching the live, simply comment live, or if you're watching the replay, simply comment replay. So if you're watching us today, if you're joining us, I'd love you to grab yourself a pen and piece of paper, and I want you to actually take some notes. And really the goal of this session is to help you take away some key learnings for yourself. So sharing a little bit about NLP with you. So we have an unconscious mind that's literally processing information all the time. We've literally got millions and millions of thoughts that are going through our mind at the unconscious level. And so we're literally processing there's anywhere up to 2 million bits of information happening at any given moment, and our unconscious mind is processing 128 bits of information unconsciously. However, we are only aware of about 5 to 7 bits at the conscious level. Now, what happens is about 80% of the thoughts we have are negative, and 80% of the thoughts that we have are repetitive. And so it's our ability to pattern interrupt ourselves and find out exactly where we're focusing on becoming more conscious of what's happening for us at the unconscious level. Hi, Kat, how are you? If you are watching the live or watching the recording, simply let us know where you're dialing in from. That would be amazing. So I'm not going to touch too much on this part of it, but what I really want to help you guys focus on is having sensory acuity. Now, sensory acuity is a tool that we utilize in NLP. Now, sensory acuity is being aware, and it's being aware of micro things. So sensory acuity might be, you might recognize as you're talking to a person, you might recognize micro muscle movements in their face. You might recognize whether they're smiling or frowning, or whether they're buying into what you're sharing, or whether they're turned away, how you're building rapport with somebody. But sensory acuity goes beyond that. So sensory acuity is about having a sense of awareness of recognizing where you're at right now. And so if you are listening, and if you are, watching this, I want you to write down on a piece of paper where you feel like you're at in different areas of your life right now. So, focus on, where do you feel like you're struggling? How is your relationship going? How is your business going? How are your finances going? Where do you feel like you're at in life right now? And then, sensory acuity is really about identifying realistically, where are you at? So where are you at really? And what I mean by that is, how is your current situation or circumstance, how is that actually affecting you? So actual sensory acuity is where you really get to dial in and ask yourself the question, what is it costing you for where you're at? So perhaps if you're going through some financial hardships, I want you to, write down on a piece of paper, what is it costing you to actually be there? Is it that you are drowning away your sorrows? Is it that you're using substances to try and numb some of that pain? Is it that you're coming home and you're tired and you're stressed out and you're being a non-productive person in the family home? Is it that you don't like your job, and when you come home, you're actually bringing some of that work stress back home with you? So I just want you to take a moment, write down, hi Kat, hey Sandy, welcome. So if you are watching, simply let us know what part of the world you are in, where you're dialing in from, that would be amazing. So ask yourself this question, where are you at really? And just take a moment to identify each of the areas of your life. So have a look at, how you feel about your health, and give yourself an honest rating. Like, where is your health? From a 1 to 10, 1 being, my goodness, I really need some help. 10 being, I bounce out of bed every morning and I'm fully energized and feel revitalized and full of vitality. And then ask yourself, what is that actually costing you? It might be that you've been neglecting your health for quite some time, and you're too scared to go and see the doctor because the doctor's going to tell you perhaps you need to lose 10 or 20 kilos. It might be that your knees are starting to give out, or you've got lower back pain or hip pain because you're carrying a bit too much weight on your body. Or ask yourself, where is your financial thermostat at, and what does your bank balance look like, and what is that really costing you? Does that mean that you're not able to put your children into the school system that you want them to be in? Is it that you're not able to take those family holidays? Is it that you've actually given up on your dreams because you simply can't afford it? Or perhaps it could be, a little bit more in the red zone where you're struggling to pay bills and put food on the table at night. So I really want you to just dial into each of those areas and ask yourself the question, in relation to my health, where am I right now? And what is that actually costing me? And then think about your wealth and ask yourself, what is that actually costing me? What are the things I'm allowing myself to do, or what's being taken away from me by being in that position? And then look at your relationship and give yourself a score out of 10. Where is your relationship right now, your intimate relationships? And what is that actually costing you? And so this is what having sensory acuity is really about. It's actually being very aware of the bigger impact of what our challenges are actually costing us. And I work with some amazing clients right across the globe. And when we dial into some of the pain points that they might be going through, we tend to brush things under the carpet. We tend to deny ourselves. We're either in denial, or we're pretending it's not happening, or we might be blaming something outside of ourselves for our circumstances. And so a lot of people across the globe, they might be, coming up with excuses as to why they are where they are, or they might be blaming something outside of themselves, or they might just be completely in denial, or maybe pretending that it's not there, brushing it under the carpet. And we've all been there. So there's no right or wrong in this. It's just recognizing and being honest with where we are actually at. So I'd love you to, really identify those areas for yourself. And then I want you to, on a separate piece of paper, I want you to have a little bit of clarity around where is it that you actually want to be. And you could be in relation to your health, it could be in relation to your finances, it could be in relation to your relationships, it could be in relation to your business. And this is something that I have recognized in my years of coaching. I get to coach amazing people right across the globe, both personally and professionally. And it's quite interesting the amount of people that actually don't have clarity on where it is that they actually want to be and where it is that they're actually going. And then they find themselves in 5 years or 10 years in the same spot, or they get to a year later down the track and they realize, my goodness, I haven't moved. I'm still here. And so, without having clarity around where specifically we want to be and what that looks like and what that means to us, it's almost impossible for us to actually kick that goal. So I'd love for you to write down, where is it that you want to be? And it could be in relation to your business, it could be in relation to your health, it could be in relation to your finances or your relationships. And I want you to recognize, as you're writing this down for yourself, I want you to take a moment and tune in to something for just a moment. Ask yourself, is this a towards or away from motivation? And quite often when I'm asking people, where do they want to be? They might come back with, well, I don't want to be broke, or I don't want to be overweight, or I don't want to be in a toxic relationship. And so that's certainly moving away from. But what we really want to encourage our unconscious mind is really gain clarity on where specifically we want to be instead. And the more clarity you have around that piece, the easier it is for you to actually achieve that. And the easier it becomes for you to overcome that challenge. So our unconscious mind works in a way where it actually needs clear orders and directions to follow. And so without that clarity piece, a lot of people will just feel like they're spinning the wheels or not actually getting far enough. Or if it's an away from motivation, what will actually happen is there's enough driving force to push you just enough away from that challenge or that pain point. And then once you're far enough away, the motivation stops, and then you'll slowly find yourself will be getting back to that point. Yeah. Now, the next piece that I really want to share is the awareness piece. And the awareness piece is identifying what is it that's actually holding you back. Now, this is the bit where we get to be really honest with ourselves. And so for some people, it might be fear of not knowing how to get there. Where they want to be is somewhere where they've never been before. And so the amygdala part of our brain is actually goes into a fear response, because it's like, I don't know how to do that because I've not done that before. And so there's just a natural sense of fear, which is absolutely normal for a lot of people. And it could be a limiting belief that's perhaps holding you back. It could be where you don't feel like you're good enough, or what would other people think, or I can't possibly do that, or I'm not capable, or I'm not good enough. And it's amazing, what really does hold people back. And the awareness piece might just be that I don't have the strategy. I know where I want to go. I've got clarity around where I want to go. And the thing that's actually holding me back is the step-by-step strategy to get there. And so what I'd like you to do is, where you've written down on your piece of paper where you are now and where you'd like to be in that particular area, ask yourself the question, who or what can help you get there? Is it that I've got some limitations, I've got some limiting beliefs, and I actually need somebody to help me break through that? Or is it that I need a roadmap or a strategy to get there, and who specifically might be able to help me get there? So if it's in relation to your health, say your focus is around losing weight, then who could help you get there, and what is it specifically that might be holding you back? I know for a lot of people, and I've got a background in fitness, so a lot of people, the thing that was holding them back was they were scared. They thought they had to be fit before they could go into a gym, or they were worried about what everybody else would think about them, because it was new to them. I know something that used to hold me back. It was a limiting belief that, I didn't believe I could have a successful business and a successful relationship. And that was just a limiting belief that was holding me back. And so I used to work unconsciously in conflict with myself, where I would be, torn between two things at the unconscious level. So once I learned NLP, I was able to break through that limitation and recognize what else was holding me back. And there was a few limitations back then. I didn't believe that I was good enough. I didn't believe I had what it took to get there. So recognize for you, what is it specifically that's holding you back? And I will say this, if it's a limiting belief, there's a great saying by Henry Ford, and that saying goes, whether you think you can or can't do something, either way you are right. So everything at the unconscious level is driven by an unconscious program. So if you have a limiting belief at the unconscious level, that is going to hold you back. And so my suggestion to anybody that's got any limiting beliefs in their mind is to really reach out to somebody that can help you. And that's what we do at Advanced Mind Academy. That's what we do through our NLP training and certification programs. It's what all of our coaches offer as part of their programs, is to help people actually break through those limitations. Because if there's a limiting belief in there, until you break through that belief, it will continue to hold you back. So just recognize what comes up for you in that space, and be open, be honest with yourself, recognize what is all the limitations that might be holding you back. Is it strategy? Is it, that you don't have access? Is it a financial thing that's possibly holding you back from that? And just see what comes up for you. And I'd love, if there's some stuff that is concerning for you, please do reach out, and we'll help you actually break through that. Now, the other thing is, the next piece I want to talk about is the decision. So something amazing happens in your unconscious mind. and it's your decisions. And now a limiting belief is in fact preceded by a limiting decision. What that actually means is at some point in your life, there was an event that occurred that was a significant emotional event, and in that moment you made a decision either that you weren't good enough, or that it wasn't going to be something that you could do, so that you weren't good enough, or what would people think. And then from that moment, that's what forms the belief. And so the decision piece is, if you are struggling, if you are say you're going through financial hardship, it's every single day you wake up and you get to make a decision in that day. You're either deciding to stay stuck with where you're at, or you're making a decision to reach out for help that's going to help you move away from being in that stuck state. So every single moment of every single day, we're either deciding, and every action we do is either supporting or sabotaging where we want to go. So the first point is actually making that decision. And a lot of people, some people never make the decision. They stay stuck their entire lives, and then they take things to the grave with them, where they lay on their deathbed and they have so many regrets of all of the things that they didn't do, but they didn't make any decision to actually change that part of the process for themselves. And so ask yourself this question: what is it that you want to decide to do about whatever challenge or obstacle that you're going through? And as soon as you make the decision to actually change it, what it actually does at the unconscious level, it activates a new neural pathway in your brain. When you decide enough is enough, I'm going to change this today, it will just start opening up your awareness to opportunities of ways that you can solve that problem. So if you're unsure, and for a lot of people, they're just uncertain of where to look or who to ask. So if you're going through a challenge or a hardship, I highly recommend reach out to our team, and we'll help you. We'll ask the right questions to help you get support in the areas that you need. But we are literally every single minute of every day, we're either deciding to stay where we are, or we're deciding to make a change for that. And once we decide, then basically that reinforces the belief system, like, I can do this, I just haven't figured it out just yet. So ask yourself the question, whatever you've written down on that piece of paper, ask yourself this question: what's most important to you right now? What's the challenge or the area of focus that you really want to change right now? And then make a decision that you're not going to stay in that challenge or that hardship. And then ask yourself the next question is like, who or what can help me become unstuck in this situation? And a great starting point is find out somebody who's actually been through that before, and what was their strategy to help them become unstuck in that moment. And now sometimes it will be a different strategy for different people, but modeling is a great part of NLP. So if you want to become successful at something, it's a lot easier and quicker to model somebody who's successfully done it before you, because you get to fast track your learning process, because they've already learned all of the what not to do pieces. So ask yourself this question, where are you feeling stuck right now? Are you going to make the decision to change that? And then who or what can help you move away from that? And the next piece here is the speed. So the speed is, are you moving fast enough? Now, I want to be completely transparent and honest with you in this one. Is, we have what's called an unconscious meta program, which is called our convincer level. Now, I used to have a very high convincer level, which meant that I used to stay in a terrible situation for a way longer than what I needed to, because I had to be absolutely convinced that it was no good for me. So I used to give a lot of things the benefit of the doubt and stay positive, and believe that, okay, maybe it was just this, maybe it was just that. And I wasn't able to see the forest from the trees, but I started to begin to trust myself, trust the process, recognize that, okay, I only need 2 or 3 little red flags to let me know, like, what, this doesn't feel right. I don't want to be here. I don't like this. I want to change it. And so I started moving forward a lot faster. So some people will stay stuck forever. Some people will stay stuck for a long time, and some people stay stuck for a very short period of time, and they learn how to make decisions a lot quicker. And that comes from trusting yourself. It comes from being able to have a full sense of knowing exactly who you are and what you want, and that clarity piece. And then the sensory acuity piece is really tuning into How do I feel about this situation now? Is this serving me or sabotaging me? Do I like this situation? Do I not like this situation? How can I change this? What decision can I make today? What action can I take today? And it's really about moving forward at a much faster pace. And the more you speed up your decision-making process, the more your unconscious mind starts to work at a faster process as well. So you'll be able to solve challenges a lot quicker, and you'll be able to learn how to trust yourself even more, and you reinforce that. So the faster you work, the quicker you make your decisions, your unconscious mind is going to begin to support you at a much faster rate as well with that process. So does anybody have any questions at this point? Beautiful. Okay, good. So knowing how the unconscious mind works, this is a real key element in NLP. So NLP itself is neuro-linguistic programming, and it's understanding the language of the mind. So there's a saying here, and it says the conscious mind is the goal setter, whereas the unconscious mind is the goal getter. And what that actually means is a lot of people set goals and they don't achieve them. And the reason why they don't achieve them is because something at the unconscious level is out of alignment. So it could be their belief system, which is out of alignment. It could be their values, which are being conflicted. It could be that the goal doesn't match their highest values. And I'll give you an example of that. When I used to work in fitness, I would have a group of women that would come to my fitness. Now, one of my ladies, her top 3 values was her relationship, her children, and her religion. And so when she was coming to fitness, she started not showing up for sessions. And when I was asking her the question, like, hey, what's going on? Just checking in, where are you? She would say to me, oh, something's come up, the kids were sick today. And I get that, right? The kids are her highest priority. So she would go and tend to the children. Or she'd say, my husband is unwell today. I was like, okay, no worries. So she would tend to her husband because they are her highest values. And then she was like, oh, we had a church gathering this Saturday and I couldn't make it. So because of her highest values, if her health and fitness wasn't in her top 3 values, it didn't mean that it wasn't important to her. All it meant is it wasn't as high up at the unconscious level to her to be able to achieve that goal. So all we could do then is we can reframe her goals to make her health more important for her to become a better person to support her husband and her children. So the conscious mind is the goal setter, whereas the unconscious mind, that's the goal getter. So just like if you have a limiting belief that you can't do something, that is going to be what's driving your ability to actually achieve that goal. If you believe you can't do it, then your unconscious mind is going to show you every reason why you can't actually get there. So what we do in neuro-linguistic programming is we're able to change the filters at the unconscious level. So we have a set of filters which are operating everything unconsciously. It's run by our values, what's most important to us. It's run by our belief systems. It's also run by our decisions, things that we've made at the unconscious level. It's also runs programs based on our memories and our imprints and what we were taught. So we are highly moral beings, and the morality that we were taught as very young children. So if you were brought up in an environment where that environment wasn't supportive of you going and achieving your goals and your dreams and believing that you can achieve anything, if you grew up in a bit more of a closed-minded environment where, people like us don't get rich and, we can't do that, and focus on your job and stop dreaming and get back to work and you've got to get a good job, all of those things, we adopt that imprint at the unconscious level. That becomes the memory bank which starts operating the programs. So it's the programs that are operating 95% of the time, which is producing the internal thoughts and actions and behaviors. It's also based on our attitudes, our belief systems, our meta programs, like I mentioned, having a high convincer level. If you've got a high convincer level, once you become aware of that, then you can start to speed up the programs. So it's what we teach in NLP is really identifying what are the filters that are operating at the unconscious level, what are the programs that are in there. And if you imagine you're driving your vehicle, if you continue to drive a vehicle and you've got old fuel, old oil, and old air filter, and you never clean those filters out, then obviously your car is going to stop operating effectively. And this is why if you see a Formula One race car, they're forever monitoring the vehicle, putting new parts, new pieces, better fuels, better things. And so when you start changing the programs, then you start changing the results that you're getting at the front end of it. So that's basically how your unconscious mind is working, and it's operating 95% of the time unconsciously. So again, I'll reiterate this: every thought you have, every feeling that you have, and every action and behavior that you produce comes from the unconscious. So once you know what's operating at the unconscious level, you can start to actually modify those programs to produce better outcomes, better results. And it really is about having sensory acuity, being super clear on where you are and what that's costing you to stay there, and then where you want to be instead. And that's what we really focus on, is where is the goalpost, where's the clarity piece, what are we moving towards, rather than staying stuck in where we are. And like I mentioned to you earlier, 80% of the thoughts we have are repetitive, and they're also negative. So you can probably relate to this if you've ever felt like you've been stuck in a loop where you just are recycling the same thing. You can't stop thinking about that same thing. By becoming aware of that pattern, we can pattern interrupt, we can reframe, we can introduce a new program in there, and we can start focusing on what it is that we want to create instead. And then we can create new neural pathways for us to start seeking solutions for those things. So another key element to remind yourself here of is, if you've been through a significant challenge in your life before that you were able to overcome, I want you to recognize what was the characteristics that you adopted in that moment that helped you overcome that. So was it that you lent on your personality? Was it that you lent on your unique strengths? Everybody's got different strengths, different unique genius zones. And, it's really identifying, like, when you felt the most confident in your life, where were you? What happened in that moment? What was it specifically that was allowing you to feel that level of confidence? If you've stood up for yourself before, recognize what was it that was going on inside of you when you stood up for yourself that time, and being able to lean on and utilize those programs. That's what's really going to help you move forward in life. If you want to know more about this, if you're really keen to understand NLP, that's what we do at the Academy. So if it's something that you're interested in, we offer international training and certification. We do 6 full days live online training. You get 3 internationally recognized certifications at the end of it. It's real-time coaching practice. You get hard copy training manuals. You get additional study materials, audio files. You also get access to full recordings, templates, and you also get lifetime access to our coaching community. And in that community, we have amazing coaches from right across the globe, and they're all in different skill sets. So we've got fitness professionals, we've got psychologists, counselors, psychotherapists, we've got grief coaches, we've got fitness professionals, nutritionists, kinesiologists. We've got an amazing community of world-class coaches that really share their unique genius zones. They share their skill sets. They share everything that they can to help you become a better version of yourself and understand how to program yourself to become more proficient. So if you're interested in learning more about our NLP training, we offer, it's about $8,000 worth of value. We offer it for $3,995. That's our standard low ticket pricing. Now, if you are interested, I've got a very special offer for you guys this evening. So it's 3 internationally recognized certifications. So once you go through our training, it is recognized globally. You'll become a certified practitioner in neurolinguistic programming. You'll also become a certified practitioner in timeline therapy, as well as NLP coaching. So whether you are interested in more just reprogramming yourself for better self-operation, your personal development, becoming a better communicator, better in relationships, better as a parent. If you're just looking for self-leadership, it's a great program. If you're looking to go into the space of coaching or adding to your coach's toolkit, if you're an existing coach of some form already, these are a beautiful complementary addition to any toolkit. We can take our students from practitioner level right through to master practitioner, right through to trainers training level. So no matter how far you want to take your knowledge in this area, we can absolutely support you through that. I am offering a special today. So if anybody does want to jump on this program, basically we're going to give you guys $1,000 discount. So it's just $2,995. We do have affordable payment plans as well. There's 2 different options for weekly payment plans. So depending on where your budget's at. And if you are listening to this and you really want to take advantage of this, and if you're looking to, you know, excel in other areas of your life, I'm going to offer something super amazing. So for the first 3 people that actually jump on this offer, I'm going to throw in a bonus. So the bonus, there's 3 different bonus options that you could take. So if you are a coach and you're looking to scale your coaching business, if you're a coach, consultant, agency owner, if you're looking to build your business to 20K months and you want to, you know, really get on top of your financial challenges, then we've got a 16-week group business coaching program. The next round of that cohort is kicking off tomorrow. So if you do want to jump in, definitely jump in on that. So that's option 1 as a special bonus. Option 2, if you have never been in business before, but you've got a great idea and you know you want something different, you're trying to get out of the 9 to 5 or create a side hustle, or you've just started, but you're just really unsure, or you've never actually been in business before, we do a 12-week startup accelerator bootcamp. That's a group coaching program. It's valued at $2,300. And our next cohort of that is kicking off, I think it's early June, the 2nd week of June. Option number 3 is we will throw in additional ticket for a friend or family member into the NLP training. So that's valued at $4,000. So there's 3 different options there. I'm going to keep this special offer for just the first 3 people. So if it's something that you're definitely interested in, that's the NLP training plus one of these 3 bonuses if you're one of the first 3 people to message. So if that's something that does interest you, please feel free to reach out. You can catch me on Facebook. You can check us out at Advanced Mind Academy. And if you've got any questions at all, even if you're just curious and there was something that you really saw in there, certainly let me know. I'm just going to take one of the questions here. I've got chronic back pain with acute flare-ups. They're directly linked to activity levels. Medical professionals have not been able to help. I had surgeries with no help. How can I manage increasing my activity to let me work towards my goals without inducing acute flare-ups? Back pain. Okay, cool. So there's a couple of things that I would ask around here is, firstly, how long have you had the back pain for? And on a scale of 1 to 10, what is it when it's in flare-up, and is it in pain when there's no flare-ups? And have you had any injuries? Great question, by the way. So I'm going to stop share for I'm going to stop live streaming. So anybody who is watching the live stream, if you've got any questions at all, please feel free to message, reach out, certainly let us know. We've got Jessica on here, and we've also got Renee, we've got Robert. Hi guys. So thank you for jumping on the live. If you guys watching the live have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out. If you're watching the replay and you've got questions, certainly reach out, touch base, let us know. Hope you're all having an amazing evening. And if you are wanting to jump on that special offer, simply reach out, send me a direct message. It is available to the first 3 people to take advantage of one of those 3 options as well. So thank you for joining us. Thanks for jumping on the live. I'm going to stop the live recording.